Hi guys, so this is like a special segment on single parenting. So a lot of people have been telling me to share my story on this platform. I'm not yet ready, I can say that, but it's coming because I'm also a single parent. But today I just have several questions that someone just wrote them down and told me to answer them for you guys. So I hope you're gonna enjoy. Yeah, this is single parenting, voicing the journey of single parents, and I am Zoe'ivy Lutsile. I was about to say I'm your host, but I am Zoe'ivy Lutsile. Mwah. So, question number one. I've been asked to talk about facing the world as a single parent. First, this all goes down to how did I feel the first time that it hit me that I'm gonna be a single parent. It was deep. It was I was angry, I was afraid, I was bitter, I was hurting, I was in pain, I was always crying, and it took me to depression at some point because never had I imagined that that I was gonna raise my child alone. Never had I imagined that the 3 years that I had spent building life with someone was just gonna crumble like that within some few days, within some few weeks, and you have nothing to show for. So the first thing was pain and anger, and I will say I didn't know anything was gonna be better. So my days were just full of tears, were full of anger, were full of memories that were really harassing me on the good days, just wondering what did I do wrong, what could I have done better, or where did I fail as a wife, as a woman, as a parent. Yeah, and those are days that I really felt unworthy. I felt like I was not beautiful enough because I was just living my marriage, and I thought I was the epitome of beauty, at some point, because I used to work out, I used to eat healthy, I used to try to look sexy for this person. And so here comes a time when I've given birth. My child is like 3-4 months. I have a lot of baby weight. I'm leaving my marriage. There are rumors of him cheating, and I'm feeling like maybe I'm not beautiful enough. Maybe I'm not worthy enough. Maybe I am not woman enough to just make him feel contented about me. And to make it worse, I was jobless, so I had nothing to fall back on. So here I'm living a house I've known for 3 years. I'm living everything that I've at least contributed towards getting for 3 years. I'm living a house that I was trying to pimp actually and make it look good because I wanted my child to be raised in a very beautiful and exquisite environment. And I'm going somewhere whereby I have an empty house. I am jobless. I have nothing to show for. I have nothing in that house. I only have a bed and some few items. That is a gas cooker and some few sufurias and plates. And I have a tiny human being who's depending on me. It was hell. It was hell. Question number 2, how did I cope for the first few months? Like I said, the first few months were full of tears. I'd wake up in the morning, I'd just cry, I'd feel weak, I don't have money. My parents are supporting, but I don't want to keep calling my mom or my dad asking for money. I'm looking at my child at things she needs and I cannot provide, and she's growing. I don't know when I'll get a job. I don't know when I'll buy things for my house. I don't know when life will start making sense. So coping, I don't know. And there was a back and forth with Mr. X. So at that time I'm contemplating, should I go back to the hell that I was living in, or should I just hold myself together and pray that as time goes by things are gonna get better? So to answer the question, coping for the first few months, I don't think I was coping. I don't even think I was living. I think I was awake, like alive, but deep within I was dead. I wasn't feeling anything. I was just in pain. I wanted my life to end. I was depressed. And even they'll tell you find comfort in seeing your child. Sometimes you look at that child and you feel like, if I did not have this kid, then maybe life was gonna be easy, life was gonna be better. And then after some time you regret and you feel like God has blessed me with a beautiful child. Why am I regretting? Maybe there's a reason why we are here, and there's a reason why I was blessed with that child. So it's basically a mixture of a lot of emotions. But one thing I know for sure, there were less smiles, more tears, depression, feeling suicidal, a lot of giving up, a lot of not praying because you feel like God has forsaken you, and just basically a lot of just wanting siku ziende haraka, mwezi ishe, mwaka ishe, life iendele. Yeah. And the next question, when did I realize it was time to move on and stop being grumpy? I think during that period I realized the power of prayer and the power of worship. God has really carried me through a lot. And basically after finding out Mr. X had moved another woman to where we were living, at that particular point while I'm out here struggling, trying to just stay afloat, he's not supporting the kid. For 1 month I was depressed. I remember that time when I found out, and then that whole month I was depressed. I never used to eat. And so sorry guys, my ring light just went off. So I remember the first time when now I had just confirmed now he had moved someone to the house where we were living, and hey, that I think was it for me. And I remember for that 1 month I wasn't eating, I was weak, I was crying, my phone was off, and when it's on I'm constantly calling him. It's like I knew it was gonna happen, but how fast. I was in shock. That broke me. And I think that was the wake-up call for me. But at least at that time things were okay. My mom had helped me, we had purchased items for the house. But just the mere fact that it wasn't even 4 or 5 months into me living, and you had already brought the woman you were sleeping with while you were with me into that house, it showed the level of disrespect. And at that particular point I realized I wanted to die, because this is for real. And I had a friend called David at that time, and he was telling me, do not be selfish, because you have a child who's depending on you. How can you want to die that bad and leave this beautiful girl alone? And he constantly kept telling me, go pray, go pray. And that is when now I delved into praise and worship a lot, because I'm a worshiper. For most people who really know me well know I worship a lot. So that's when I started praying, and I used to pray, and I used to listen to worship, and I used to cry a lot, and I used to tell God, just give me the strength that I need to just see my daughter grow, open doors for you, you know. And I think that is when I bumped into this song, you're too faithful to fail me, you're too faithful to disappoint me, yeah. And then that is by this Moses Bliss. And then there was another one I used to find comforting. It's called Jacqueline Carr, and it says, you're the company that doesn't have to go. And then the song says, I'm broken before you, please do not leave, because I need you, and I'm empty if I do not have you, so stay with me. So I was basically telling God, do not leave me, I need you more than I've ever needed you in my life. And that is when things started to pick up, yeah. And I started rediscovering myself. I started loving my child instead of feeling like I'm gonna blame her for everything that is coming, because you know, sometimes before kids, life is good, and when a kid comes in, everything changes. And if you're not strong enough, you're gonna end up blaming your kid for each and every failure that you're having in your marriage. And at that particular point, I learned to embrace my child. I learned to hug her. I learned to love her more, as I learned to love myself, you know. So at what point did I realize I needed to move on? The point whereby another woman with a child way older than mine was moved into that house, and no communication. Every time I called, I was either shouted at, told usinipigie simu, wachana na mimi, niko na bibi yangu, hizo tu madharau. That was the point I knew it was time to let go, and there's no going back. Yes. And how did I get my fresh start? One, I delved into prayer with everything I got. I used to, worship, and I used to look for music that speaks to my soul, music that speaks to my pain, music that brought me to tears, yeah. And musicians that I listen to, mostly we have Tasha Cobbs, we have William McDowell, Moses Bliss also, and I've said Tasha Cobbs. I think those are the people that I drew my inspiration from. And then I started praying with a purpose. Praying with a purpose basically means I know what I want from God, and I want healing. I want the pain to end. I want the tears to stop. I want to start smiling. I want to start looking forward to another day. I want to embrace my child with everything I have. I want to love myself. I want favor from him. That is how I just started my fresh start with God. And then also I started focusing on listening and watching stories of other single mothers out there, how they're thriving and how they got to pick themselves up. And I realized I'm not alone. I'm not the first. I'm not the last. But the fact that I am alive to testify, and I'm alive to live through another day as a single parent, I realized I'm blessed. And I started just imagining of people who are going through worse, people who are being beaten in relationships, people who are being brought for women in their marital bed and they can't do anything about it. And I realized God has favored me enough to just pull me out of that kind of situation. So it's more of developing a spirit of gratitude and just realizing you went through that for a purpose. and you can either let the experience drown you, or you can either let it swim you to a better life and to a better you. And also I started job hunting again. I remember, because after I left my marriage I was not working, but then God works in mysterious ways. A good friend of mine, he's called Pharrell. Okay, I think most of you then know him. He's on so many advertisements. He's Nigerian. He called me and he told me, go to this place, take your CV, someone there knows you're going, and you're gonna get that job. So I was working in that company, and then when Corona happened, that is last year now, ikianza, the job iliisha, job ikaisha. So I think that's why even depression kicked in 3 times harder. But then now I started job hunting again, and again God works in mysterious ways. The company called me again and told me, you guys, we have another contract for you with another company, so come and do your interviews and start your training. Yeah. So other than that, also I delved into now, I love content creation, I love acting. Yeah. So now that's when I started the Prodigy's Chamber. And as much as we're not where I want us to be in terms of shooting and content, I know one day, one time, it's gonna be bigger than what it is right now. So I started writing scripts. I'm good in writing scripts and organizing shoots. I got a small group, yeah, and we started shooting. And also I love cooking, so I started cooking a lot. You know, it's like therapy for me. I love cooking. If you know me well, you know I love cooking. So I go to YouTube when I have money, especially I buy ingredients, I make stuff, I teach myself, just to find a way to not think about where I'm coming from. And then also I started focusing all my energy on my child, because at that particular point I'm looking at her, she's too young to understand, she's too innocent, and she deserves a good life. She deserves a happy mom, because trust me, when you're not happy, your child will not be happy. They know how to pick this energy, whereby kama uko sad, they feel it and it affects them. I don't know how that happens. When you're angry, they see it. And for me, that is when I learned I will never discipline my child when I'm angry, or when I'm in pain, or when I'm having negative energy coming from my outside, because basically I'm gonna hurt her. You're not disciplining her to correct her, but you're disciplining her just to let out your pain in anger, because you have nowhere else to throw it. Sema pole. Pole. Say mama, I'm sorry. Pole. Aya, rudisha unga ndani ya packet. Unapika nini? Chapo. Chapo? Oh, aya, clap for yourself. Clap for yourself. Aya, simama twende, tutoe nguo. So I just focused my energy on loving my child and trying to give her the best and hustling. Still, I was doing online sales. I was shipping out items. Nivile sai corona imeblock kidogo. And so yeah, that's how I got my fresh start. From God, drawing inspiration from other fellow women who are single parents, doing business, content creation, hustling in every way I knew possible. And then the last question, how is the healing process? Healing process, it's slow. Progress is slow. There are days you'll wake up and you're happy and you're jovial and you feel like life is good. And then there are days that your memories just they just want to fuck you up. And you start remembering the good old days you had with someone, and you imagine everything you left behind and some other woman is there enjoying, and you're still trying to pick up the pieces. Because believe me, restarting life is not easy. Starting afresh is not easy. And you cry. I cry sometimes. And also, every time someone approaches you like a man, that's when you realize you're not healed. And they start being all nice and all lovey-dovey, and you realize this is the same script. It's like you're pulling pages from the same book, and before you even get to see the good side, you're like, I can't do this, because we're just gonna end up to where I was some few years ago. And you want to protect yourself, you want to protect your peace of mind. And healing process, again, I'll still say, I don't think anyone ever heals from coming from a broken marriage. And even if you do, I don't think the wound ever goes. Because the things that you go through in life, and they break you. And you see, and the bad thing is, for most women, most of us, no one ever gets to hear our side of the story, especially where you are married. Those people never care, most of them. They do not reach out to see how their blood is doing. They do not reach out after you move out to know what really happened. You know. And if you had a toxic partner, they feed their family with lies just to look good. But my mom usually tells me, don't worry. One day, everything shall come to light. So healing, I don't think I've healed. It's like 2 years, 4 months now. I don't think I have deeply healed. I don't know when I'll heal. I'm better. I am happier. I'm more peaceful. But I think the day I'll know I've healed is the day I'll be able to say, I forgive him, I let go, and no matter what he did, no matter what happened, I can be able to just allow him to see my child without feeling any pain. If I can be able to forgive him for what he did to our child, especially with story for another day, then I know I'll have healed. But as of now, I am better, I am okay, I smile a lot, I laugh a lot, I'm at peace. I'm doing me. And sometimes I break down, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I wish things were different, but they're not. But one day I will get there. But then the good thing is, in the healing process that I'm in right now, I've realized my self-worth, and I've learned a lot about loving you and valuing yourself. And this is the thing, I'm at a point whereby I don't take bullshit from anybody. Sawa, tutaongea, sawa, tutanilike, sawa. But there's just something you will do, and it takes me back to 2 years, and I'm like, you're gone. And this is what I usually tell even my cousins. I'm like, whatever I went through was too much. That even right now, hata nibonge na mtu 2, 3, 4 months, when I stop talking to you, I don't feel shit. Because the pain I felt at that time cannot be compared to a 3-month conversation. Nah. Niko na shock absorber. Ni sawa, nitasikia vibaya sawa day 1. Alafu, it's not bad. It's not as bad as what I went through. Na hujaniachia mtu mwingine hapa nile ama nothing. So I think that's also a problem. But one of these days I'm gonna share my full story, and I'm not gonna share it because I want to be pitied. Napana. I believe in drawing inspiration from what people have gone through, and a lot of stories on the internet about people's life and what they have gone through, what they have succumbed to, what, like rising from ashes. He gives beauty for rising from the ashes, you know, like a phoenix. I draw a lot of inspiration from that, And it is my prayer that one day when I let it bear out there, that my story is gonna be a really big inspiration to people out there. So I'm not doing it for pity. I'm not doing it to look good. No. When I start saying what really happened, I'm gonna put down facts. I'm gonna lay bare my weaknesses, because this is one thing I like telling people: this is my weakness. This is my weakness, and this is what I can attest to doing that was wrong. And that is part of also healing, accepting that you are not perfect, accepting that you have flaws, and accepting that it takes two to tango. And no relationship just haribikas with contribution from one person. Lazima ukuwe umechangia somehow. So very soon, very soon, very soon, I'm gonna do my story, and I just hope it's gonna bless someone out there. So yeah, I'm shooting at night, and this is another beautiful segment of single parenting. And thank you guys for the support that you're giving so far. Thank you for watching our videos. Thank you for the people who constantly come to my WhatsApp, to my Facebook, to my DM, and even those who are commenting there and just giving their opinions. And I hope you're gonna grow with me in this journey, and I hope we're gonna learn a lot of things from each other. So it's time to call it a night. I have an early morning. I am Zoe'ivy, and may God bless you all. Mwah.
Hi.
I'm Zalia.
I'm Zalia.
Mom is going to work.